Columbus, Ohio. Ohio State basketball hadn't lost many games in Big Ten play this year. Only 3 of them. With 7 seconds left in the second overtime of Friday's regular season finale at Indiana, the Buckeyes looked like they were heading for a fourth. It was going to come via another late shot, potentially sinking them. C.J. Jackson had other ideas. The junior guard found himself open, but deep, launching a 25-footer that swished with 1.6 seconds left to send Ohio State to an 80-78 double overtime win in Assembly Hall. The win was Ohio State's first in Bloomington, Ind. since 2013 and marked its first 2-game season sweep of the Hoosiers since the 2010-11 season. Jackson's game-winning three-pointer followed Juwan Morgan's layup that put Indiana up 78-77 with 7.6 seconds left. The Buckeyes lost earlier this year at home to Penn State when Tony Carr banked in a 3 as time expired. Different story for OSU this time. Ohio State, 24-7, 15-3. Big Ten is guaranteed to finish no worse than second in the conference standings, and has locked up at least the No. 2 seed in next week's Big Ten tournament. It will remain that way if first-place Michigan State wins on Sunday at Wisconsin. A Spartans loss would give Ohio State a share of its first Big Ten regular season championship since 2012, and give the Buckeyes the top seed in the conference tournament via tiebreaker. Jackson finished with 13 points. The Buckeyes were led by junior forward Keita Bates-Diop, who made his final argument for Big Ten Player of the Year with 24 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists and 4 blocks, his 12th double-double of the season and second this year against Indiana. Cam Williams had 15 for the Buckeyes, passing the 1,000 point mark for his career. Jae'Sean Tate had 12 points, 5 rebounds and 6 assists. Caleb Wesson rounded out 5 Buckeyes in double figures with 12 points. Morgan led Indiana with 18 points. Robert Johnson, who had one made field goal when these teams played in a 15-point Ohio State win last month in Columbus, finished with 17 points. The Buckeyes had a chance to win it in dramatic fashion in the first overtime too, after Johnson tied the game at 70 on a pair of free throws with 7.8 seconds left. Tate brought ball up the floor and threw a pass to Bates-Diop that got tipped. OSU never got a shot off. Ohio State started the game out with the offensive pace it likes, but the ball stopped moving as well on the offensive end in the second half as Bates-Diop got some more isolation touches. He finished the game 9 for 24 from the floor. The Buckeyes couldn't pull away despite Indiana missing its first 7 shots of the second half. With a quick 5-0 spurt, the Hoosiers tied the game on a drive from Aljami Durham to make it 48-48 with 10:37 left. That was one of a few easy drives for Indiana against an Ohio State defense that was stout in stretches, but struggled with consistency. Foul trouble might have had something to do with that. Caleb Wesson, Tate Jackson and Andre Wesson were all playing with 3 fouls before the midway point of the second half. Tate and Andre Wesson each had 4 before the 5-minute mark of regulation. Both Wessons ended up fouling out. Tate put on a clinic on how to play with 4 fouls, staying aggressive on the offensive end and making 2 key defensive stops. He took a charge in the final 4 minutes of regulation with the game tied at 61. He had strong defense on a Justin Smith drive to deny a layup in the second overtime. The teams mostly traded baskets in the second half. Ohio State kept a modest lead on a three from Jackson that made it 53-50 with 9:29 left, and a Tate finish in the middle of the lane that made it 59-54 with 6:28 left, just before Tate picked up his fourth foul, bodying Morgan on a bucket that tied the game. At 59 with 5:26 left, tied in the final 2 minutes of regulation, both teams struggled to get the go-ahead bucket. Jackson had a three-roll around the rim and out. Indiana's Johnson had a layup rim out on the other end. Tate couldn't get a drive, and threw an off-balance jumper that missed. Indiana rebounded and called timeout with 22 seconds left to set up the final shot of regulation. Johnson drove on Andre Wesson and missed a layup. The rebound got tipped out long as regulation time expired to send the game to overtime. What a finish to the regular season. #GoBucksPick. Twitter.com, LT2Zabayua, Ohio State Hoops. @OhioStateHoops. February 24, 2018. Ohio State saw what was a 12-point lead evaporate at the end of the first half. Without much of anything going on offense outside of Bates Diop, the Buckeyes made 3 field goals in the final 5:55 of the half. 2 of those makes from Bates Diop. Indiana closed on a 19-7 run, tying the game on a pair of Josh Newkirk free throws with 1:2 seconds left. The game was tied at 33 at the half. The Buckeyes had the ball moving well in stretches of the first half, finishing with 10 assists on 12 makes in the first 20 minutes. But they also turned the ball over 6 times, leading to 9 Indiana points. Ohio State finished with just 16 assists for the game after 10 in the first half, but turned the ball over just 7 more times after 6 in the first half. Ohio State finishes the regular season with its most wins, 24, since the 2011-12 season, and its most Big Ten wins, 15, since the 2010-11 season. What's next? Ohio State begins Big Ten tournament play Friday at Madison Square Garden in New York, either as the No. 1 or No. 2 seed.